Hi, Geek fans, welcome back. It's time for another Shane Reads. And what did Jacob force me to read this week? He forced me to read Batman, 0 Year, Secret City. Oh yeah, you know the deal by now, folks, or maybe you don't because we take forever to do these. Yes. But Jacob, he gives me a comic book. He says, Shane, read this or I'll bludgeon you repeatedly. And I go, all right, I'll read the damn comic book. And then we rate it on my bizarre and weird medium system because I'm kind of medium about comic books. I have a lot of problems with the way they're structured. Jacob, tell me a little bit about why you had me read this.
All right, well, I really like this one because I really like reimaginings of storylines or just alternate universes altogether. This wasn't really an alternate universe deal, but it was a reimagining of Batman's origin, and like not so much his origin, but it was his early years as a vigilante. So and
the 0 year.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, that's why it's called 0 Year. So I really like this. It shows kind of shows a evolution of his bat suit and his ability as a
crime-fighting vigilante.
Yeah. Yes. So that's why I like this. Also has some other characters' origins like Riddler and it was hinted at, but it's basically supposed to be the Joker. But what did you think about this? I think I already know.
I fucking hate Batman. I love Batman cinematically.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I loved Batman, but all these stories you give me, it's the same story every time. So there was the one with the Dark Knight Rises with the monsters gang taking over the city. And there was that owl gang taking over the city. And now another random gang is taking over the city. And again, Batman, I know the city better than everyone. Again, he has no clue at all what's going on, and they rise up, and he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't know what's going on." Again, Batman's stubborn, doesn't listen to help. Throughout this comic book, Alfred's saying, "You got to reveal yourself as Bruce Wayne. You got to reveal yourself as Bruce Wayne." No, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And again, like all the other comic books, he eventually goes, "Oh yeah, I'm wrong, and they're right." And it just he's stubborn. He's not actually good at his job. He's a terrible detective. He gets lured by his uncle into this building where somehow he never notices there's a giant crowd in there, and the reporters come up on him like, "You're Batman. You're supposed to be aware what's happening." And he gets lured by the most basic things. And then this is what really pissed me off about the comic book. All right, so the villains are a throwaway. This gang it's just like the Owls. It's just like all the other throwaway gangs. It's terrible. It's garbage. But Batman sucks. At one point, he gets beat up by 4 thugs. He gets the shit kicked out of him. And not only are they 4 thugs, they already admitted in the storyline. They've made it clear these aren't like criminals. These are regular people. These are school teachers and stuff. And they beat the shit out of Batman. 4 thugs. It completely undermines his credibility as a crime fighter. It reminds me, Batman and all these comic books I read remind me of Daredevil in season 1. Except Daredevil moves past that. Here, he's the same character over and over again. Every comic book I read, he gets his ass kicked, gets a shit beat out of him. Every comic book I read, he's a terrible detective and gets surprised constantly. Every comic book I read, it's the same story about the gang rising up. It's lame, it's boring. Like, I was thinking to myself, imagine if Superman was here right now. It's all done. It's all done.
That's a 2-page comic.
Yeah, 2-page comic book. How can you get into any of this? How can you like this character he's completely incompetent, is stubborn, is unlikable?
Well, for me, I just like the style of it. That's what I like about it. I like the artwork and the style. And
the artwork and style are fine.
Yeah, and I overlook those things because this is supposed to be a younger Batman who's coming up into the crime fighting business.
It's the same story over and it could be older Batman, just like in The Dark Knight Rises or Returns, where it had those monsters or whatever, that gang, and it's the same story regardless. Wherever he's in, it's always just a bunch of a random guy who somehow, and to their credit, they don't say how because it makes no sense, he's managed to gain control of the city. I have half the police department on my side. Oh, really? You have half the police department on your side. You've already won at that point. How did you get? None of it makes any sense. And I've talked about this in the past. You can do any ridiculous things you want in fictional universe. But you have to follow your own rules. They don't follow their own rules. They ground Batman too much. There's scenes where it's like, oh, this is like a real person. He's talking to Alfred. This is like believable human drama. There's he's training. It makes sense. And there's other scenes that completely are just at odds tonally. So it's just jarring, like, what? This is garbage. The comic books I've most liked that you've given me are the ones that just take it all away. It's like, fuck it, we're going all the way to the ridiculousness. All-Star Superman, the Death of the New Gods, right? Those were ridiculous stories. But they didn't pretend to be anything but ridiculous stories. Here, they pretend like this is a real serious thing that can actually happen. No, it's not. This is just dumb. It's just dumb.
See, I think what why it's always like the same storyline over and over again is because we already have this this image of Batman in our minds. Like he's a total badass. He can beat anyone. So
the image doesn't match what's represented ever.
So now what everyone does every single time they have to have him be beat by someone. So that I think that's why they do that every single time now. But
that undermines the credibility of the character.
I know, but for me, I buy into it. I buy into all these comic book conventions every time.
I mean, this guy with the red skull, red hood guy he's so stupid and ridiculous. And at one point, a character shoots him, conveniently shooting him in the one part where he's armored with the thing on when he can shoot him anywhere else. And Batman again, his stupid, shallow morality of I don't kill people. He constantly knocks people. This worked. This kind of nonsense worked in like the 50s or the 40s when he just knocked people out and whatnot. But nowadays, the kind of injuries Batman inflicts on these people are life-threatening. We know now about how bad it is when you get a concussion. That's serious life-threatening. People die in boxing, tons of deaths all the time. So to say that he doesn't kill people is ridiculous. Before I keep hating, I'm going to show the one page of this whole comic book I liked. One page. He meets I guess he's not the Riddler yet, but he's got to be the Riddler. And they have this cool little artwork of going in a circle.
Yeah.
And I think I like that one page. One page. Every other page of the book I pretty much hated. I hate how Batman doesn't kill people. It makes no sense. He's in combat, right? Like always, the kill count is massive. The criminals kill so many people, it's ridiculous. They throw a whole bunch of bodies at one point off a boat. I'm like, damn, they just killed like a dozen people. And Batman, no, I can't. And Batman has the opportunity multiple times to kill a guy. Oh, I can't do it. And because of you, Batman, now literally dozens, probably hundreds. I mean, it's ridiculous, the kill counts, because you're an idiot.
See, I just buy into all of it. I know that's not a strong argument, but I've been reading these comic books for a while, so I'm just used to it. I'm just used to all the bullshit, I guess.
When I was younger, I read comics, and then I didn't read them for a long time. And when I was younger, I bought into a lot of the stupid things about Batman. Like, I remember when I was younger, I actually even argued about some of the dumb shit. So, like, I was like, yeah, he doesn't kill people. He's good and moral. Not really thinking about it at all. And then I'm like, oh, well, he doesn't wear armor because he's agile. It'll slow him down. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
See, for me, I agree with you. His whole morality about not killing people doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But and
it is easier to pull off when it's a comic book.
Yes.
And you can just knock people out or conveniently push them off screen. You can't really see the aftermath.
Yeah.
But when you see it on screen, like people complained about Batman's portrayal in Batman v Superman, like you can't just have that fake thing all the time because you see him, he's fighting, he has a bunch of people around him. Something's gonna happen. It's just you're in combat. You can't control, and that's another weird thing. Like, oh, I can control exactly how to hit you to knock you out.
It is a little ridiculous.
I've been ruined, I think. The comic book Batman's been ruined by me seeing realistic portrayals of Batman on screen.
Yeah, I think
I can't go back.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true because everyone grew up with reading Batman, and then they saw, Michael Keaton. They're like, oh, that was realistic. Then they saw, Christian Bale, and like, that was super realistic.
Yeah.
And now they get a new version with Ben Affleck where it's a little bit more comic booky, but he kills people now, so it's like that makes more sense.
And in that version they showed, it's actually a version where I'm like, oh, I can see him, hanging out with Superman or Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Because he's more like an like a Tony Stark kind of guy. He uses a lot of technology. He has a supersonic fucking plane with missiles, right? He actually has high tech body armor and equipment, and he also somehow is pretty freaking strong.
Yeah.
Throwing dudes around. I mean, here they try. I can't buy it anymore. You're not just a regular dude. Dude, and when he got beat by the four thugs, I was so sad. I was like.
Was that kind of like in Jessica Jones when she got hit by the 2x4 and got knocked out?
Oh, yes. Yes. Actually, yes. So Jessica Jones is a character, throughout the series, she's throwing people around, knocking dudes out because she has super strength and whatnot. And then one time, there's a random group of morons come and somehow take her out. It was so clearly a plot device.
Yeah.
Because and that's what this is here. It's a plot device. I want a Batman that's a wrecking machine. You have to make your characters convincing. You can't undermine your character's credibility. I hate it on Supergirl when they brought in Superman in, and then you couldn't beat this really lame foe, but then she could. I'm like, you just undermined Superman.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So for Batman, they need to show him beating the shit out of people, a lot in comic books. He should be winning most fights, and then occasionally he comes up with a guy that's like, whoa, this guy's serious.
Yeah.
And then it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But mostly what I see in this is him failing and losing over and over again until the very end. And at the very end, he's suddenly be able to take out like 25 guys with guns.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he take out the 4 guys without guns before? You know what I mean? It's all too convenient.
It is very convenient, and I do want to look up like what are the top Batman storylines to read and see if they follow this or if they go in a different direction.
Yes.
And see why they're the.
To me, like on the back of this comic book, they praise it. I'm like, who are these people reviewing this? Because this is to me just classic lazy writing.
Everyone just loves. They love the comic book conventions. And I'm one of those people. So for me, like I already said, the big thing was the style. And I like how they gave a lot of really good hints at the original Batman with the purple gloves and they had the Red Hood who was supposed to be the Joker. So I really like all of that about it. And I can't really say anything about his Batman just being stupid for half the comic, then being like a real detective halfway through.
Yeah, it's like suddenly I magically figured everything out, and now I have all the answers.
Yeah,
it's like this. He keeps losing and not knowing what's happening, and suddenly, boom! I got everything in the bag. I've every kind of possibility I've thought about. I got this. It's so easy. Just ties it up too easily. And I have one other question for you. What did you think of the sudden and dramatic change in art style?
I hate that about this Batman series. They do that all the time. They did it in all the other ones, and I hate it. I hate how they just did that. It doesn't make any sense. Like that's my big complaint about this.
Yeah, I was really confused at first. I'm like, wait, I didn't realize it was Batman. I'm like, wait, is that like another person being Batman?
Yeah, it was very strange. Like I love this, and I really like this art style more than the one they do at the end.
You have. I mean, Batman looks a certain way, throughout the comic book. It's colorful. Blah blah blah. There's red people, and then suddenly it gets at the very end. This other style.
I think you're there.
Yeah. This other style, it's much darker. You might not be able to see it too well. Yeah. But it's much darker, and Batman's really ugly.
Yeah, it's like did
he's like deformed.
Yeah, did the illustrator just go on vacation like that at like the end of the last issue? I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but they've done this in every single volume that we read of the series so far.
It's very jarring.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. They try to get some other artists in there, but it doesn't really fit with the issues that we're reading here. But I like this series overall. I'm probably not going to continue that much with it because I just can't keep up with these comic books anymore because they did so many
retcons and changes.
They've retconned the DC universe like 2 times since this. I can't keep up with it anymore. But I am going to seek out like select volumes of select
Hopefully something good.
comic book series. Yeah, and see what everyone likes, and those will be the ones that we read from now on.
What are you rating this, Cobb, on my bizarre and weird medium scale?
I'm gonna give it a medium plus.
Medium plus. I'm giving this a straight garbage. Straight garbage right here. Straight trash, folks. Straight trash. Don't read it.
Yeah.
It's garbage. Anyways, let's now see where we. What's this? What's this? Ooh, Star Wars Shattered Empire.
Yes.
Are you forcing me to read this next time?
Yes, I'm forcing you to read this. It's a very different style of comic book, but it actually has some connections to The Force Awakens. So I really like Star Wars, as you know, with this tattoo now. Yeah, so we'll see what Shane thinks about it. He's not the biggest Star Wars fan, but he likes it. So yeah.
I like the movies at least.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been Shane Reads, and we'll catch you later.